Buddy. Everyone good? Hey,
Absolutely marvelous.
before
Marvelous.
before we get started, and I'm sure you're already doing this, but please keep everybody in California in your prayers. It's about as wild as it could get, and LifeVantage has a lot of distributors and a lot of customers in California, and is ever since April and I've gotten in this industry 32 years ago now, we've always had teams, in California, and it could be northern, it could be southern, it could be LA, but the fires are just they are to California what hurricanes are here in Florida. I mean, it is what it is, and it's Mother Nature, and so anyway, keep them in your prayers, please. Um, and if you could do anything to help, by all means, do it. But how many had the opportunity to watch yesterday? Did just about everyone get a chance to do that? I think the replay is posted. If any of your teammates missed it, I think it's already posted. We're going to do a couple things tonight, and that's why I said, please take notes. And if you haven't reminded teammates to get on this, shoot them a quick text because we got a lot of stuff to cover. But certainly, I want to recap some of the key things that was said yesterday, not repeat it, but the theme is very obvious if you watched it. I mean, the theme is very, very obvious. And, the company is very focused on executives. Okay. I mean, that is the rank. Okay. And you heard Steve Fife and Kristen both mentioned in 2025, they want to double, the amount of executives. I know they mentioned, thrive and 25 and drive. There's a lot of words that rhyme, with this year. But you know, it's the thing that I enjoyed and liked the most, and I'll talk about at the end after we recap a few things, is the need for everybody to think bigger. That is the single greatest, biggest weakness there is in this company is lack of vision. It's not a goal thing. It's just small thinking. And, we just need to think bigger. We need to think abnormal. We need to think, dream like we did when we were a kid and before we became practical, before we became adults, before we became responsible. We used to dream and we would dream big. You didn't dream about getting a C on a test. You always dreamed about getting an A. Well, I didn't, okay, but most people that went to school did, okay. We need to dream bigger because the vision will never get bigger, okay, if you don't dream bigger. And I mean for you, okay, and for your team. And the thing that I don't know of anything in business that could be more painful, okay, than you being in a business with a lot of other people, okay, that are in the same business as you, and you've been there longer, or you feel you know more, or you feel you're more educated, or you feel you're smarter, or whatever. And people join the business now, okay, and we've all been in for whatever number of months or years it is. And 6 months from now, they have a higher rank, okay, than we do, okay. And that is just a matter of not thinking big enough and not having a big enough vision. And you say, yeah, but it takes people. No, it takes thinking big and having a big vision. And then you realize you got the whole world of people to talk to, and you stop thinking about the six people that live on your block, okay, or the five people that you text with every day. And that's what goes on, and that's all a matter of not thinking big, okay. And the one thing I thank God for every day, they weren't perfect people, the couple that we were with in our first company, but man, oh man, did they think big. Okay, they were visionaries and they thought big. And the very first thing April and I ever heard in network marketing And the very first thing we saw was how 10 people could grow to 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and a million. It was a pyramid. Okay. It was a 6 level pyramid of tens. And I remember turning to April, and this was the very first meeting, okay, that I ever attended. And we didn't even do that company. It was a water filter company. We ended up doing, that was how we ended up meeting the person we met. But I remember turning in April and just saying, I don't know if it's going to work exactly like the way that guy just drew out on the board, but if even a percentage of that works, we're going to be rich. Like, I saw the big vision in this, and I want you thinking about this as we go through this tonight. I saw the big vision, but there was something in me that was more practical because I was self-employed. Okay. So I knew what it was like to own a business. I knew what it was like to make payroll. I knew what it was like to have to go get clients and customers. And I was doing all of that already. And I was opening art galleries also. Okay. And that wasn't the primary business I was in. It was manufacturing picture frames. So I understood that. But when I saw that, okay, yes, there was part of me that was practical, but I didn't say that ain't possible. I just said, even if a fraction of that happens, we're going to be wealthy. Okay. And that's the mentality that you need to take in this business. We all need to think bigger. Okay. I mean, for Pete's sake, the whole GLP-1 thing, if we didn't have anything else in the company, and we knew Ozempic sold $13 billion, and they're only one company with a shot with GLP-1. Okay. So $13 billion last year. They don't have the sales force that you and I have. They don't have the number of people that we have in LifeVantage. Okay. And we have a lot more than just an Ozempic shot. Okay. I mean, we have a whole lot more than that. So that's what I mean. You got to think bigger. And you say, well, Bobby, I've never thought bigger. I've always had a job. Okay. I've always worked in corporate. I've never thought big. Okay. Well, that doesn't mean the next person you talk to isn't a big thinker. Okay. That doesn't, you got to share it and talk it and do it, because even if you're not, if you don't share it, talk it, and do it, you're going to miss the next person who is, because you're thinking too small and they're big thinkers. And when a small thinker talks to a big thinker, if they don't speak the big thinker's language, okay, it never happens. That's why you can't worry about, let's say, take all of us, for example. You can't worry about if you're new. You can't worry about what rank you are now. Okay. You can't worry about what your check currently is. You have to talk about what it's going to be and what it can be. So when you're talking to that big thinker, they think, wow, if Lynn sees herself making 30,000 a month and I've built $1 million businesses before, maybe I could take it beyond that. Okay. You have to, that is the message that I came away with from yesterday. And April and I have always been big thinkers, and we've allowed ourselves to become smaller thinkers in LifeVantage. Okay. We had an organization in our first company for a few years, and Noel and Lynn, a few that were with us, remember this. Okay. And Jaya was there too. Allie was there. There was a couple years where our team, not the company, okay, Bobby and April's team, was doing 5, 6, 7 million a month. And I've settled in on, okay, we need to be EC3. So I got to have a balanced organization doing 300,000 a month. What the hell's wrong with me? Think about that. What the freak is wrong with me? Okay. We've already done a 5, 6, $7 million a month business. And we're thinking about, okay, if we get to 300,000, and we're almost there anyway, but it's not balanced, we got to work on another line, then that's good. Well, okay, it is good. And we get more shares in the profit sharing shares and stuff, but come on, folks. Okay. We got to think bigger than that. And that was such an obvious message yesterday. If we want this company, and obviously the investors, okay, they see something that you and I don't see. Okay. Our stock last week went from $16 a share to 23. And Steve Fife and Kristen were talking about they're looking at 30. Okay. And they meant this month 30. Okay. Not so think $30 a share. So you're talking about from 16 to 23 to 30. Okay. And you never know if the 30 happens or not. Okay. But again, it's a projected number. If the people investing and buying the stock and the large holders of stock, okay, I have a chunk of the stock. I had a good week. Okay. I even got a chance to sell high and buy it back the same day lower. Okay. I had a really good, not only a good week, I had a good day. Okay. But I'm holding on to it. Okay. And I'm going to be thinking bigger, and I'm going to be talking to you in the weeks as we go through this year. And Ira, you need to call me tomorrow. You're done. Your small thinking is over, Ira. Okay. I am getting you, and we're going to work together so you can be an EC1 by July, not by the end of the year. Okay. And I'm going to call a few of you out on it that are on my team. Okay. But I meant to call you today, Ira. So I'm telling you, please call me tomorrow when you get a break. Okay. Just give me a ring tomorrow. But everybody, folks, okay, everybody needs to think bigger. Okay. So hold on to that while I share a few slides with you and cover the things that we need to share first. And then after I get through with this, at the end, I want to open it up and get some thoughts and feedback from you guys. Okay. So as I said tonight, it's just me. April's up in New York visiting her mom. So I don't have to behave, and I'm not going to behave. So I have a chance to do this myself tonight. And it's time to thrive and drive in 25. Okay. You heard them say drive 9 million times yesterday. I happen to like thrive better than drive, but well, the words rhyme, and so does the year. But couple things, you probably know this and you probably have heard it, but if you haven't, the 90-day weight loss challenge, okay, that Tara and Rachel and those guys put together, they're doing an opportunity Zoom every night, okay, in January. So you can plug people in every night to hear an opportunity presentation in regards to the whole GLP-1 weight loss challenge. Okay, so that it's posted, it's in the group, and you can see it there. I'm just reminding you. We're going to go over the recap on yesterday in a moment, but I just want to remind you also, a week from tomorrow is our opportunity. Okay, and one of the things that I want you to think about with 8 days to go is just challenge yourself to have an obscene number of guests invited to be on it. Not like, oh, one or two said they'll be there and that's good. No, no, no. Even Shauna said when things changed for her, when she went from just whatever, okay, she's not on my team, so I don't know her numbers, okay, and all of a sudden double rank advanced, okay, not single, but double rank advanced. It was when she said she was going to reach out to 10 people a day. Well, everybody knows they should be reaching out to 2 people a day. Okay, that's the standard in the industry. That's not even the standard in LifeVantage. That's the standard in the industry. But Shauna changed that number to 10, and in a 60-day window, almost probably a 90-day window, she went from EC1 to EC3. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let's start with some of the things we talk about tonight and showing that we are serious about thinking bigger. And the first opportunity we have to show that is a week from tomorrow. Okay, so let's do our best to turn this right into what it needs to be. So obviously, the 90-day weight loss challenge goes to January 31st. So I don't know the number that's in there now. Last I heard, there were 634 people, quality candidates, and that was about a week ago. So it's probably 1,000 that are now doing the challenge. Okay. I posted this last week. If you don't have it, reach out to your upline. If you need it, I can resend it myself to you. But I posted the shareable, which is over here. I also posted the live link in Collagen Picks and in the Facebook group. Okay, so it's there since last Sunday. But if you need it again, reach out. Okay, so it's a week from tomorrow. Okay. So a recap from yesterday. And again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this because most of you, okay, were on it, if not everybody. Okay. How is this for a number though? In October, the enrollments increased by 5,000. Okay. I mean, that is amazing. 30% were first time enrollers, 30% are reactivated enrollers, hadn't enrolled anyone in over 4 months. But the number that flipped me out is this one. Okay. 22,000 enrollments with MindBody. Okay. In 1 month. 22,000. It just gives you an idea of the kind of market that there is for this type of weight loss product. And, some of us, we came from a weight loss company. Our Bioline product was studied at Johns Hopkins. I mean, we know and we've seen what can be done with weight loss. And that's why you can't be thinking the way you were thinking before October. Everything changed in Kansas City when that product rolled out. And the biggest problem we're going to have as a company is the distributors don't think big enough. Okay. If we want to go from the 200 and something million to a billion, we all need to 4 times our number. Okay. That's what it comes down to. And, if you want to 4 times what you're doing, then you need to be targeting 10 times. That way, if you only get halfway there, you still make it. Okay. I really like what Kristen mentioned, the breakfast at Tiffany's, the breakfast and the $1,000. Okay. $1,000 gift card for Tiffany's. I love the company is doing more and more with giveaways. Okay. And they're changing them every few months and things like that. But I love the fact that they're all of these things and everything they talked about yesterday was above and beyond our regular Evolve Pay plan. These were extra things that were being added on. It's really cool when you think about it. So obviously you rank advance to new executive rank, either become EC1 for the first time or start moving up the ladder. Okay. So I know that's a 90-day window, but this is what they believe is possible. Going from where you are to executive in 90 days. Okay. They believe that's possible. The other way of doing it is 25 tracks. Okay. January through March. Now, to me, that's harder because I'd rather work with a team. You could get 2 of your teammates that hit MC3 and you're an executive. Okay. So it's, look, folks, it could be done, but you got to talk bigger with the people on your team about what you're going to do and what they can do. You got to talk bigger. Okay. And that's the key. But I love that whole breakfast at Tiffany's and the $1,000 card. I love that they're giving gifts to everybody that maintains their rank. Okay. And there's now special gifts that go with actually let me just go back one. With each rank, once you hit EC1, EC2, EC3, EC4, and presidential, there's a special gift that goes with each one of those. It's not just flowers and a trophy. It's not, there's special gifts that go with that. And I don't know, I might be the only, yeah, I think we might be the only ones with a Jeep. But, one of the things April and I are having for this year is to get a Jeep. Okay. In our second business. So somebody talking there, please mute yourself. Thank you. But the Jeep program is alive and well, and they've raised the cash towards the Jeep now to 30,000. So if you don't get the Jeep, you still can get 25,000, but if you do, they give 30. So obviously they want that to be the car. So, they didn't cover a lot, but March is the final month for recognition at convention. And they talked a lot about convention. And you heard that the gentleman from Thailand talked about it. And, if you're not registered, and this is how you got to treat the conventions, the big events like Kansas City and Salt Lake City and all the convention. This is how you have to treat it. The first one that needs to say I'm going and is going is you and me. Okay, we go. You don't say I'll go if someone on my team's going. No, you say you're going right now and you work on new people to bring with you. Okay. But if nothing else, you need to be there to witness and experience what happens so you can bring it back to wherever you live. So, in other words, it's not optional. If you're going to build the company at the rate that corporate wants us to build it in the way we all want to build it, the event's a part of the deal. And the next event, okay, is still almost 4 months out. It's the end of April, but get yourself registered for it and get your hotel room booked and start watching the airfares. Okay. And soon you see a decent, priced airfare, buy it. But the recognition that's going to be, done at convention will be through the end of March. Okay. So anything that goes on as far as awards, trips, ranks, all that type of stuff. Now, this is the schedule, okay, for the global convention. Okay, this is the schedule. So the leadership meeting starts if you're MC3 and above, and that's on Thursday afternoon. Okay, and then there's a party Thursday night, the opening party. It's a disco speedway theme. Okay, that's Thursday night. They're also now obviously all day Friday, Saturday and stuff is training, but there's also a recognition gala black tie on Friday night. Okay, Saturday night they always leave for the team to get together, for different teams to get together and go over things before everybody goes home on Sunday. But anyway, you saw the schedule, so there's going to be some fun stuff to do at this as far as parties go. And then, of course, Jake ended things up with what's going on, for the year. And it's nice. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff lined up. And you probably screenshotted this. That's where I got this stuff from yesterday. It's all screenshots. But, the company's got big plans. And one of the things I want you thinking about is that we have the opportunity, okay, to still make the Alaska trip with 3 months to go. Because if you're getting the tracks, okay, you're also going to be rank advancing. And it's like double dipping with the points. So I want you to look at where you are with the points, look at what you need to hit the 300 mark and divide it by 3. And you'll know what you need to get for January, February, and March to finish it up. Okay. So, but like I said earlier, it hit me upside my head, so to speak, that me and April, okay, and we had some people over our house watching it, but we need to think bigger, much bigger. That was the message from the company. Everybody needs to think bigger. And it don't matter how long you've been in. It don't matter. I don't care if you have 15 years and you haven't hit the first rank, okay? You need to flush that down the toilet. You need to flush it. And you need to think bigger, and you need to think it's your first day. There's endless possibilities, and start thinking and talking and doing bigger. And I mean much bigger, not like, well, last month I did 6,000, so this month I'll do 7. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about multipliers, not addition. Okay, multiplying how many times, not adding. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. And I love what Steve Fife said, and then I think Jake or Kristen finished it and said it again. But in 2025, they want to double the number of executives in the company, the rank of executives, the EC1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. And I don't know how many there are now. I'm guessing there's around 500, but I'm not sure. Okay. So that means, they're looking at having 1,000. I'll check next time I talk to somebody at corporate and see if they know if they'll publicize that number. I'm sure they know what the number is. But, think about this. If you're having trouble thinking, okay, and let me stop sharing this. If you're having trouble thinking bigger, okay, if you're having trouble reevaluating, if you're having trouble flushing the toilet, meaning getting the stinking thinking crap out of your head, if you're having trouble with that, look at the stock. Look at the people that have millions of dollars invested, that they are not building this business. They bought in to own the business as shareholders. Look at what they think. Okay. Look at what happened in the quarter. Most of it happened in 1 month. Okay. But look at what happened in the quarter and the projections that Steve made for this coming year. They're bold projections, okay? You're talking about increasing business. His numbers was something by like 50 or 60 million, okay? That's big, but I think it's small, okay? What he's doing with talking to the board of directors, his head's on the chopping block. He's got to give fairly real numbers, okay? But I think if everybody starts thinking bigger and starts painting their vision gets bigger, their goals get bigger. But the big thing is stop limiting yourself with limitations. Stop putting limitations on yourself. Stop with this, well, I don't know who to talk to. Okay. I mean, come on, 330 million people live in this country, and we're not limited to just the United States. Let's get out of that tiny little box that we're in and start bringing it to the world. Okay. And I don't just mean your cell phone, and I don't just mean your friends on Facebook, and I don't just mean who you go to church with. Yes, all of them, but everybody. Don't let somebody be within 3 feet of you and you not tell them what you're excited about. And what I'll try and get to next week is the opening lines. I don't have time to do it tonight because I want to hear from some of you for the last few minutes, but the icebreaker lines are the opening lines, and I'm not a script person, and I'll be honest, and April is, I'm not, I hate them. Okay. I need to be real. And when I get leads in from my advertising on social media, the biggest compliment that I get is they say, I saw your video. Okay. And I believe you. And it's the only reason I reached out, because there's a million scams on social. And they said, I just believed you. Okay. So I figure I want to hear what you got. And so if you in your heart believe in your business and your products, then why wouldn't you share it with anybody, whether you know them or not? Okay. You could be the answer to the prayer that they made last night when they went to bed. Wouldn't you want to be the answer? Okay. But you got to talk bigger. Okay. If there's people out there that are concerned about their 50, 70, 80, 100, $200,000 job, then you better say something big enough where they could see that there's an answer, and not just be talking about making a few $100 selling some Bioline, not by Protandim, okay, or collagen or GLP-1, okay? It's everybody. If you don't paint a big enough picture, you don't allow people to put themselves in their own box. See, if you're in a little box and you talk little, that's all you get. That's all you get. But if you talk big and you get your vision where it should be and you start thinking bigger, now there's 4 or 5 boxes. They'll put themselves in the one that they feel they need to be in. In other words, what I mean is, I wouldn't do this business if I didn't think I'd be making $1 million a year in the next year or two, because there's other companies that I think I could do that in. I believe my greatest potential for income for 7 figures is here. Okay, that's why we're here. So there's people that want to make 7 figures. Well, I can talk to them. Okay. But there's people that want to replace professional incomes, doctors, lawyers, the professional, the 2, 3, 4, 500,000 people. Well, there's a box for them. Okay. There's a box for 6-figure people. There's a box for $50,000 people. And there's a box for the moms that want to make some money while they're raising the little kids, or the kids are in school, and make an extra 1,000 or 2 a month. Let's not put them in a little box. Let's let them know all the boxes are available and give them an opportunity to put themselves in their own box. But that only happens if they know there are big boxes available to be in. You get it? You get what I'm saying? Okay. And some of you have experienced big money. Some of you have had jobs that have paid big money. Some of you have had professions that have paid big money, but you're playing small. And you're talking small. And all you got to do is talk big. It's not like I'm saying you got to go invest $100,000 and do something with advertising. No, it's your mental state. You just got to become a bigger thinker and talk bigger and let people know there's multiple options. Does that make sense? Do you get it? Okay. There's nothing wrong with being in this business to make an extra $500 a month. What's wrong with it if that's the only thing you're talking to people about? See, there's something wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with working at McDonald's and serving people or making the hamburgers or milkshakes. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to at least let people know there's an opportunity to buy the franchise. Okay? Or you can be the manager of one. Or you can be a regional person that oversees 50 of them. You got to let them know there's different opportunities. And that's all I'm saying. We got to share it all. And that's where the think bigger comes in. Okay. That's where it starts with us. And you heard a lot of distributors say that in their testimonies, that they started thinking bigger, their team started thinking bigger, and it happened. And you know what it's going to take for it to happen for you? For either you or someone on your team to start believing it and doing it. And the thing goes all the way up the channel. It goes up the totem pole, man. All it takes is one person to get on fire, and all of a sudden everyone believes it could be them. It believes they could be next. Okay. So that's the challenge. And I tell you, me and April are there. We've been talking about it when she comes back later this week. But we're resetting. It is ridiculous that we have set our sights on a 300,000, distributorship, monthly distributorship, when we've already done 5 million a month. It's insanity. I've become insane. That is it. I become insane. It's crazy thinking. If you've had a job that pays you more than this business is paying you, you need to rethink. And it has to get bigger. That's it. It has to get bigger. So okay, I've said my piece. So I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Let's keep it short if you can, but feel free to unmute yourself or unmute yourself and let me know what you're thinking for 2025. Go ahead, Fred.
I can jump in, Bob. It's Fred up in Canada. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're going to become the 51st state, or are you going to stay separate?
Well, it's beyond my control.
we would welcome you, Fred. I'd love to call you.
I know I'm maybe not the right spot. Some people might think differently, but I'd be fine with it.
What do you got, buddy?
Yeah, so we just really enjoyed the event on Saturday. Steve's vision. I loved Julie Boyster's presentation of the products. But the thinking bigger, and it's so true. You nailed it tonight. Even bit of New York came out, and a little bit of a spanking for everybody tonight. But I think it's really good. I wanted just to shout out to a couple of our new people that are on with. I put it in the chat, but Grace up in Toronto, and Johnny's in Pennsylvania, and they're both here in cranking up. Johnny's new this month, and I think right around 7 or 8 new
Awesome.
people
Welcome,
already.
welcome, welcome all.
And they're thinking big right from the beginning, because Grace saw the potential of this product. She's a doctor and saw the potential, uh, and so. But it's true. It's this thinking bigger, and LifeVantage is going to move with or without us, right? And
That's
that's the thing.
that's a
And we've been
given.
around longer
Yep.
than you have been.
Yep.
We weren't here in the beginning, but I always saw LifeVantage being bigger than Amway, right? Right
Hey,
from we
we
saw
we've
we were
been here 7 years. They're going to be 16 in May, and it's there's no limits with the way we pay and the
yeah,
products we have. There's no limits. The only limits are how big we think.
yeah.
That's
I and
that's it.
that's so I saw right in the beginning, my after my first event, right? When I saw the culture of what we had here, and it's improved under Steve Fife. And but folks, this I see it bigger than Amway. Amway doesn't have a product that slows aging, that activates the GLP. It's and its comp plan, of course, is they were the granddaddies. They didn't have computers and have the ability to create a comp plan like we have. So just think bigger. So Shirley and I were thinking bigger. Two positions at EC1, and I think the goal for the end of the year is to have one position at EC2. So
Good.
because we have two positions, and so rock
So
and
that
roll,
means
everybody. Let's
talking
go
to
change the world. My let's go change the world is my
Fred, that
uh,
means talking to a whole lot more people and getting your
yes,
team to talk to a whole lot more people. That's the key.
yeah,
Who else we
yeah.
got? Thank you, buddy.
One of the things I can share is like, okay, first of all, my team rocks. We had a
You
snow,
need to call me tomorrow too, Zuma. You're on my
Thank you.
hit list too.
Okay.
Okay,
So my team it's no here and it was icy. So I connected with Mindy, who was in the call from Chicago on on Zoom. And we did the homework. We did activities. Those activities are amazing. If somebody has not done it, to reflect on 2024 and what are your goals now? By when, how you're going to do it was an aha moment to be able to look at the whole thing, the whole year. So the people from North Carolina we met today because the snow is gone. So if you have not done that one, that is in the hub,
yep.
download it, do it, and then you have the projection and vision of what grant ranks to hit and when to hit it and how. That was amazing. I loved it.
And you mentioned the hub, the information on the hub, and here, in case you're not sure where it is or what it is, you don't need to log in to get to the hub. Okay, it's just a website address. It's hub.lifevantage.com. And the reason why that's so cool, let's say you're talking to a prospect or you're talking to a customer, they can go there and see the same stuff that you and I are looking at. Okay. They don't have to be in our back office. They don't have to be in our website. They can go and see some stuff, or we can send links, from it. So keep that in mind. It's a wealth of information, and they're keeping it up to date. Okay. Everything new is going there now. So it's not only is it good to keep me and you up to speed on things, but it's a great tool to have to share with new people, prospects, customers. Okay. Maybe you want to make a point. Maybe you want to show them something. They're putting everything in that hub now. You ever come across people that you want to share something from Facebook with them, but they're not on Facebook? See, that's where the hub can come in and be an advantage, because that's just a website address. So you can use that in case somebody, for whatever reason, is not a social media person. So next, anyone else? Come on, don't be chicken. I love all of you. I'm feeling so excited about this coming year. And the one I'm challenging is me. Okay. I used to think bigger, and it's really shame on me. I mean, our check, April and October, our check doubled, and we already had a good check, and it doubled. And still in November and December, I got caught up in, oh, well, it's out of stock, so whatever. I'm as guilty as the next person for not having a big enough vision. Well, that's over. That is over. And I'm so glad they hammered away at that yesterday, because we've been there before. And maybe you had a corporate world job. Maybe, you were trying to get from, the mailroom to the penthouse. I don't know. But at some point, you were thinking big. And you need to take the thinking big to LifeVantage, your LifeVantage business. Whatever it was that you'd done before that took you through your career, you were thinking bigger than when you first got started, and we need to apply that here. Okay? There are no excuses. Enthusiasm always wins. Excitement always wins. And don't tell me you don't know anybody. That's a bunch of BS, okay? Our old mentor used to say, if you don't know anybody, who's going to carry your casket at the funeral? I mean, he was pretty crude with some of the ways he would say things, but he'd say, you don't know 6 people, who's going to carry your casket at the funeral? I'm like, you're a sick mother. But, it's funny, but it's not. And I think, how when your kid is growing up and they're dreaming about playing for the local baseball team, the local football team, the local hockey team, they're dreaming about being that doctor, they're dreaming about being that lawyer, they're dreaming about being president, they're dreaming. And all we do is encourage it, encourage it, encourage it. And then here we are, all adults in LifeVantage, and we're thinking small. Yet we've told ourselves and our kids when they were younger, they could accomplish anything. That's the message that we got to remind ourselves. We have to think bigger. Okay. If you shoot big and you only get halfway there, it's probably going to be a whole lot better than if you were shooting small and you hit it. That's the whole thing. I was mentioned, someone asked about the Jeep. You need to qualify for the Jeep, and that's in the back office. That's a matter of fact, that's on the website at the bottom. It's called My Life Venture, but you need to hit EC2 and maintain it for 6 months, and you get a Jeep. Okay. And we got one in our first company, but now our second company's executive, and we're looking to get that to EC2 because I got 100,000 miles on the first one now. I want a new one again. Okay. So it's time for another one. But, it's folks, it's just thinking bigger. You want to challenge yourself. For starters, how many people are you going to have next Monday night so we can help you have a big January? How many people are you going to get on? How much bigger of a pool are you going to fish in? Are you going to fish in a goldfish bowl, or are you going to fish in the ocean? Okay. How many do you want to get on the Zoom next, not tomorrow night, a week from tomorrow? Okay. That's a great place to start. You get 10 or 15 people on, you're going to get a couple tracks out of that. You're going to get consultants out of that. You're going to earn money. There's a lot of things that are going to happen if you get 10 or 15 people on. How do you get 10 or 15 on? Well, invite 30 or 40. Okay. That's how that happens. And don't ever tell them there's a recording. Don't ever tell them there's a recording. There is, there is, we record them all. But that's for you and I to know, not for them to know. That's for the ones that don't show, that you can reach out to them and ask them, if I send you a recording, will you watch it? And when can we discuss it after you watch it? Okay, that's for the follow-up. So anyone else? Anyone going to think bigger? I want to see all the heads going. Is everyone going to think bigger? I hope you're thinking bigger already, just 40 minutes later after we started. I'm telling you, it's the difference maker, folks. People always asked, our big thing in our first company was we had thousands of doctors in our organization. And people always said, how did you and April with high school educations get all those doctors involved? And I think about it, and we talked big. We talked about the money they earned and more. We never talked small. Do you know they used to invest 40,000 up to 400,000 to get started with us? Not 999, not 249. The lowest level that anybody could start with us in that business was 5,000. That was the bottom rank. But 40,000 was the most popular one. Lynn knows, she was there. Noelle knows, Jaya knows, Allie knows. They were there. They saw it. Okay. It was normal business. Some of you that don't, you weren't there and you didn't see it, but it wasn't abnormal business. It was normal business. We just played bigger. And I think part of the thing that happened with me in April here is, playing with, a 40-point bottle of Pro Tandem when we first got started. And we had to start working up to thinking bigger. Okay. But it's there now. Okay. And we want you to think bigger. And we want you to let people know that there's 5 or 6 boxes available that they could put themselves in, not just the box that you're in. And when you share that, that's, like I said, McDonald's is a perfect example. You can cook the fries, you can wait on the counter, you can be an assistant manager, a manager, or you can buy the franchise. There's all different levels of how to get involved and what to do. And this business is no different. So everybody good? Any last thoughts, anyone? Ira, unmute.
Yeah, hi. I wanted to go back to what Wilma said earlier. Something that was in the shareable. It's one that I had for the first time. What was it that you were recommending that we take a look at, Wilma? You're muted.
Okay, so anybody,
the thing in the hub that you mentioned, Zuma.
okay, yes, anybody who had a party, they call it a party. After you saw the presentation, I had a group of ladies. So they said, download these worksheets.
That's what it was.
So
worksheets. Yeah.
Worksheets. So then they said, okay, last year, from 1 to 5, how do you do with this area, that area? And you go like, oh my God, I need to improve. Only by going through that, you realize what you were supposed to do that you didn't do. Let's put it that way. So then there's other sheets in which you say, okay, what did you do? Okay. And what would you like to improve this year? So it had like maybe 5. What I did was I had different presents for my people. So when they got here, I had a treat, so they open a bag and they had something. So then as they were going through the worksheets, I gave them something else and something else. By the end, they had like 5 different presents. So that kept them engaged into what they were doing. And it wasn't so much pressure on, oh my God, I did this wrong. But it was like, okay, now that we know what we know, what we can move forward. And it was good because one of them have not gone to a convention. And she said, I have to go to convention. I have to go.
Yeah,
Say,
we had
yes.
a lady sitting on our couch, and it was like she turned to someone else. Would you share a room with me? I want to go. It was like, so.
But even for personal use, for me, it was like one of the big ones was excuses. I've been making excuses. You know what? Yes, I've been going, but somehow some excuses have been stopping me, even mentally and unconsciously. I have stopped myself. So,
Thank you, Zuma.
you know,
Everybody good? We will meet again next Sunday. You know how to reach us during the week, but if you need anything for the next few days, try and reach me instead of April. I like to give her time with her mother. I get to see my dad almost every day down here in Florida. She only gets to see her mother a couple times a year up in New York. So reach out to me. But Zoom, so next Sunday night we have training again, and then the following Monday will be the opportunity. So it's time to start getting your list together on who you're going to get on that. Okay. But if you need the information to invite, just reach out to your sponsor or me, and I can send it to you. I'll put it again in the collagen group. So everybody good? All right. Thanks for your time, folks. And I'm excited about 2025. And the only thing that I want to do is watch all of you advance to executives. I want to see you on the Alaska cruise. Okay. I mean, cruises are great. Going to Alaska is great, but having the company pay for it and go for free. Free is always better than us paying for it. Free's better. It's just something about free. So, have a great night, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you. And please continue to keep California in your prayers, okay, with those fires. They're horrible. So thank you all. Good night.
All right, thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Night, everybody.